What is the number one cause of fear of public speaking? If you fear public speaking, believe it or not, you can fully control the number one factor that causes it. Can you guess what it is? The number one cause of fear of public speaking is lack of preparation, which is something you can fully control. Take the time to practice and rehearse your content. The more time you spend with your material, the more automatic and familiar it will be during your delivery. When you are well rehearsed, your confidence will automatically increase and nervous behaviors will decrease. It is reasonable to feel nervous. Most people do not recognize the nervous behaviors of a speaker when they have them under control, but they do realize when someone is poorly prepared. We know what the signs are: struggling with the content, turning your body towards the screen to see what's on your slide, depending too much on the handouts, fumbling over notes and presentation objects. Displays the physical signs of nervous energy such as shaking, thin voice, poor breath control. You can have full control of being prepared. When I work with clients who are afraid of public speaking, they say it's hard to find time to practice. If speaking before others makes you feel overwhelmed, then find the time to practice. It will make a massive difference in your confidence. There is nothing worse than being in front of a group of people and wishing you had prepared more. At that moment, it's too late. Find time to review your material and have full control over the number one fear of public speaking. I would like to talk about the first 5 minutes. What is unfair is that the first 5 minutes is when you are the most nervous, and it is during those first 5 minutes when the audience is judging the quality of your talk, whether you are competent, organized, or whether you have leadership skills. The first 5 minutes is very important because the audience is making judgments about how well the presentation will go. Make sure you can give a strong introduction, and I will demonstrate that in a moment, and know your first few slides very well. So when you are nervous, you can look strong and competent. To start your presentation on a strong note, I want you to ground yourself first. When people are nervous, they often go to the front of the room quickly and they begin speaking without ever taking a moment to ground themselves. As a result, the presentation does not begin smoothly. The first few minutes of the talk appears disjointed. You sense this and your nervous energy builds. To avoid that, ground yourself first. And I'm going to give you a demonstration. What I want you to do is when you come up before the room, so obviously this is for live presentations, I want you to walk up very, very confidently. I want you to take big steps. When you take big steps, that helps to burn out that nervous energy. Then when you get to the front of the room, I want you to take a moment and plant your feet and feel your feet. And I even want you to tell your brain, I feel my feet. After that, take a nice diaphragm breath and then do a strong introduction. It is very important to start on a very strong note and take a pause. Sometimes my clients say, oh, Liz, is this too much of a pause? Will I look nervous? No, you're actually positioning yourself to be ready to speak, and that's actually a very good leadership trait. So come up to the front of the room, big steps, move your arms, feel your feet, tell your brain, I feel my feet. Take that breath, and then move into that strong introduction. Now I'm going to teach you how to start with a strong introduction. It seems that from the beginning of our careers, we have always done introductions. They are usually done in meetings and before delivering information. The problem is, and see if you do this, that they are often done with consistent upspeak or some swinging up at the end, even if upspeak doesn't exist in your speech patterns. Often people will have upspeak on the last syllable of their first and last name, department name, or presentation title. With too much upspeak, the introduction sounds whimsical and it lacks authority. This is extremely ineffective because upspeak behavior positions you to speak in thinner and higher pitch tones, and it sends nonverbal signals that you're not confident or even positive of what you're going to say is even reliable. I am going to give you an example of a weak introduction and then a strong one. Here's the week. Hi, I'm Liz Peterson. I'm a speech language pathologist. My company is Speech and Voice Enterprises, and today I'm talking about how to shape out nervous energy. Whimsical. Now I'm going to do it with good intention and with very good intonation. Hi, I'm Liz Peterson. I'm a speech language pathologist and my company is Speech and Voice Enterprises. Today I will be talking about how to shape out nervous energy when delivering a presentation. See the difference? Practice your introduction often to shape out any upspeak. Practice in your car or whenever you have a moment. Breaking the habit of upspeak for introductions actually takes time. It could take as long as 2 or 3 weeks to break this habit. Be very intentional using the speech stairs strategy and to end your name and title on that lower step. When you can deliver a strong introduction at the beginning of your presentation, you are positioning yourself to deliver a strong talk and feel more confident from the start. With a strong introduction and knowing those first few slides, you will know your talk is going well and you will give an effective presentation. Can you rehearse too much? You actually can. Rehearse your content so you can be conversational with it like a storyteller. You should not have to look directly at slides to know what you are going to say. Be familiar with charts and graphs. The goal is to be conversational with your topic. Avoid putting notes in that section of your PowerPoint because you will gravitate towards them and be a ball and chain to that PowerPoint presentation. You will look stiff and unrehearsed in front of your audience. In the beginning, practice your presentation frequently. Then practice it less once you are familiar with it. I recommend practicing once the night before, but I don't recommend practicing the day of. You can rehearse too much. Practicing too much can cause you to get lost in your thoughts and not be sure of what you said or didn't say during the actual delivery. This can cause you to get nervous and fumble. Rehearse, but don't rehearse so much that you lose your spontaneity. Know your content and be spontaneous with it so you can be more of a storyteller. Your audience will find you interesting and appreciate your delivery. All right, see you in the next lesson.